just want you to watch this video with a keen interest, and later we will come with our own submission.
Amplify that we believe that there's a possibility that the international community can be brought to bear, the UN, from the Declaration of Human Rights all the way through. This is a very, very serious matter. There's something that I didn't mention, and I hesitate to mention because I am not Nigerian, although I think Dr. Lloyd has bestowed upon me the honorary title of Nigeria Man. And we had a conversation. It wasn't heated, but he acted like he was going to revoke my Nigeria Man credentials, causing my 13-year-old son, who was in the car with me, to be very distraught. He said, "Dad, you have to stay a Nigeria Man." But talking about children, when I was a little boy, when I was 7 years old, growing up in the middle of nowhere, Florida, in a swamp, closest town was 30 miles away. The first thing that happened in the world that brought to bear to me that maybe things weren't always right, maybe things weren't always good, wasn't the Vietnam War. Because I was in the South. It was correct and just, and we were the warriors. It was the Biafra War. And I remember very distinctly thinking, this just isn't right. This isn't right. This is a great people. It is a great nation. There was a country. And then later when I learned, something most people don't know, that there is a plausible argument that democracy began in Igbo land. The very first written constitution on this planet was written by the Igbo people. The very first democracy that involved self-governance, that worked for everybody, not just the Greek wealthy, but everybody, was in Igbo land. And the very first democracy that permitted women leaders was in Igbo land. The West, Europe, we were still in the Dark Ages. And yet the Igbo had figured out a way to have a just and meaningful government and a just and meaningful society and due process and fairness. And to this day, you see a great many Igbo leaders that are women. So it is my honor to have been able to work with the Igbo community. We are contemplating preparing an appeal to the United States Supreme Court related to the senseless slaughter and what we believe to be the genocide of the Igbo people. To bring this full circle, that has been going on since 2016, overseen by the APC. It's not ironic, it's not a coincidence, that the only APC governor in Igbo land is the one the Supreme Court just forced upon them. Not ironic, not a coincidence. Nigeria has just been placed with a visa ban, as everyone knows. That's not the United States picking on Nigeria. That is the United States seeing Nigeria, the Nigeria that exists now. Not the historic Nigeria, not the hopes of 1960, not the hopes of Iransi, not the hopes of the three founders, not the hopes back to the 900s. That's what Nigeria has become. And unless it gets better, it of course is going to get worse. It cannot get better unless the judiciary can be a bulwark against the corruption, against the senseless slaughter, the genocide, the tribal hatred, the regional issues of one part of the country gets to have the oil, one part of the country gets to grow the food, the other part of the country gets to have the finance and the business, and then the rest of the country gets to have the guns and the power and tells the rest of the country what to do, or else they will perish. That's just the start. And the visa ban is just a start. If you read President Trump's words, compared to what he said about the other nations, it was as harsh or harsher than any other nation. He did not write this, or this wasn't written as though it were addressed to a strategic and historic ally. He was tougher on Nigeria in some regards than he was on the Sudan. And Sudan, who has been on the terrorist list for a long time, rightly or wrongly, that's where Osama bin Laden lived. That's where Al-Qaeda was born and nourished and nurtured. And yet, if you look at the visa ban for people from the Sudan, it is hopeful. You can get off of this. In Nigeria, it is far more stern. So the people of Nigeria need to understand this. And the Supreme Court needs to understand they have an opportunity to correct a wrong. And it is a wrong that is so blatant and so apparent that it is almost the stuff of comedy. But it's gravely serious. It is very, very serious. That's really all that I think we have. We would probably like to open the floor to some questions. We have a handheld microphone if anyone would like to ask any questions. Do you have any questions? Yes. Here.
So guys, from the video we've just watched, the man spoke extensively. One thing that really baffles me in this country is that, we try to deceive ourselves. We like to deceive ourselves. Some people who are opportune to be at the helm of affairs, they will be telling you, people don't, or they think that people don't even know what is happening in Nigeria. Oh, it is only people who they have already been put on hold, people who they don't want them to know what is happening in the country, because that is why they don't want people to, when you come talk about history, when you talk about our education, they don't want people to know much, because they believe that by the time you know much, you'll be able to tackle them, you'll be able to criticize them, you'll be able to put up some questions before them, which they don't just want. And that is what is really happening with this government. They don't just want you to say anything. Even in their face of making mistakes, they will not come out and say, oh, yes, we've made mistakes, we are going to correct it, just be patient with us. And from what I've always been hearing concerning Awolowo, then he said, if people who you are governing, they are educated, it will be less work for you, because they will understand. But in a situation whereby people don't even know their left from their right, even if you are trying to explain some things to them, they won't get it, because they don't know much. And that was why you could see that, when it comes to the Southwest, he was able to give free education. And people always say, oh, Southwest, they are more enlightened and what have you, because of what was happening then. But I don't know if that is still the same thing, because this present day government, right from after him and some other government, they've just bastardized the educational system, right from the time of military. But we are supposed to have picked everything up from 1999. But what do we have? Selfish people, those who were thinking, we just have to be there to get our own benefit at the detriment of others. So they believe that people don't really know what is happening, and to a very large extent, a lot of Nigerians know what is happening, but the power that be, and the ones who do not even know what is happening, will try to shut them up. But that being said, like I always say, the international community is watching. Like I believe, if two people are really having some kind of a argument, you say, oh, this one will say, I will not agree to what you say. The other one will say, I will not agree to what you say. At least it's good for somebody who is neutral to say, okay, what is happening? The person will be able to be objective and open-minded, and not to be biased, and be able to say, okay, this is what is happening. This is the way I think things have been going. Okay, you A, you are right. B, you are wrong. And, for the two people who are really involved in that argument, they know that this person is neutral. It's not really affiliated to anybody in any way. Yet, the person is able to say the truth. At least to a very large extent, the one who has been, at least one of them or two of them will just agree that, okay, really, somebody is seeing it from a different perspective. And that is what is always happening when it comes to international communities. It's not as if maybe Nigerians want, okay, we are not a sovereign country, people don't have to say one or two things. Yes, because when they say one or two things, that means they are the outsiders. They see things from a different perspective, and they will be able to shed more light to it. That doesn't mean that maybe you are telling them that, oh, that they are your superior or what have you. It's just the same thing. Maybe two friends or in a family, somebody will just come and say, oh, you guys are having this fracas. This is the real truth, and people will be able to say, okay, yes, this person is a neutral person. And that is why people always talk about these international communities. It's not as if you are reporting to them that they are headmaster and what have you, because even when some people in the country are saying this thing is like this, the next thing they will say, oh, because you did not win election, oh, because you don't have electoral value, oh, you are featherweight, you have no whatever. That is the way they are going to be telling you. It is even rampant with this government. So people are watching from the outside, and they know what is happening, even if we don't want to tell ourselves the truth. And not to talk of most of these countries, they have their embassies in our country. They have embassy in our country. See the way the man was just explaining things, even things that a lot of us do not even know as Nigerians. talking about democracy, talking about Igbo people, talking about Biafra, talking about the role of women, and talking about the stand of the government concerning what is happening today. Majority of the things that we do not even know, a lot of outsiders, they will be able to see clearly. We have a lot of problems on our hands that even for people to even know history, people don't even want to talk about it. People just want to, what will I eat? How will I put food on my table? How will I be able to feed my family? How will I be able to cope? That is just what people are thinking about. Even the main issues that is even causing their predicaments and their challenges. They don't even know the root cause of all of those things. And that's why we're only talking about these Eboko people. It's not even tackling them, trying to curb them. That is another thing. But another thing is to know the root cause of the problem in the first place, to be able to deal with it. Because if you don't deal with it, the problem will continue to persist. So we don't even know where we are going in this country. I think if the needful will not be done, let everybody separate. That is the way to go. And with that one, even if you have a countries among countries, somebody will be saying, how can some people just wake up and say they want to have a government within the government? What are we talking about? What is the big deal about it? The one you have, what have you been gaining out of the whole thing? What have you been gaining from the whole thing? Everything is just in disarray. Everything is just in disarray. It's very unfortunate. We don't even know where to go. People will talk, they will say, oh, we are a sovereign country, we are this, we are this, we are that. I think we really need iron hand. People will be saying, some people will be protesting to the embassy, to other countries' embassies. Because we have failed to do what we need to do. We have failed woefully. We don't want to take responsibility. We don't want to behave like people who are matured. We always tend to like, oh, I know. And you know nothing. No zero. No zero. Most of those people who are leading us, they are no zero. No nothing. They always know the money, power. They give you power and you will not be able to do anything about the power. You don't even know how things are being coordinated. That is why we see where we are. And I always challenge those who have served this country before now and those who are still serving it, that you cannot tell us that you have served your country, you were president, you were governor. All of them should be ashamed of themselves, because at the end of the day, with overall, you can see the effect of what they have done. That is what we are experiencing now. If you have done a good, or you have done the right thing, we will not be in this mess, because each point in time that each and every one of them was coming to rule, they would have done something, and continuity would have been the order of the day. But what do we have? All of them will just want to do anything within. They don't even project in the future. They always want to do things that within when they are going to be in power, so that everything that will be beneficial to them as at that time in their own tenure. They don't think about other people. You see that the policy they make, it is all about now. The time of their tenure. After that tenure, they don't care. Another person will come in, start all over again. That's why we say we take a step forward, many steps backward. You can imagine that kind of a thing. How do we grow in that kind of environment? What I'm trying to say is that if we think that people are not seeing, if you think that you are a sovereign country, that people cannot just come and say one thing, because that is what is really giving them edge. They will just like, oh, we are a sovereign country, we know what we are doing. And yet we are embarrassing. They are embarrassing the nation. People are seeing what you are doing. People know what is obtainable. People know what happened at some point in time. So guys, that's my opinion concerning this video. I'm seeing it from a different perspective, because I always talk about, it's all about the people. Like I always say, people who are always supporting one government, supporting one whatever, they are just wasting their time, because these people, these so-called politicians, they don't have your interest at heart. But the unfortunate and the disheartening thing is that these people are among us. They are from us. Why is it that we are like this? They are among us, not that they are coming from outside the country. It's not as if they are this. The ones that have governed before, the ones that are there now, they are within us. Why is it so? Why is it that we cannot do the right thing? It is unfair, really unfair. Someone says that let Igbos go with their Biafra. I don't know those people who are holding them in a marriage that does not work. I am a Yoruba man. I think I will be more comfortable with an Oduduwa Republic than the present arrangement where there is no fairness. Another says, I know that the Almighty God who has brought us this far will definitely finish his good work He has started. Ole Biafra, the land of the rising sun. You don't want us to be president, no government allocation in Igbo land, and still you don't want us to go. Haba, you know the fear God. For over 50 years now, Hausa and Yoruba haven't they have not forgiven Igbo upon more than 3 million people. Igbo's people, you people starved to death, and still no forgiveness but hatred. Habanam, how allow us to go. Sounds I can't wait to see the reality of Biafra. It will be like dream when Biafra will be declared. So guys, I would like you to, let us hear your opinion concerning this video that you have just watched. Just like I said, I see it even from a different perspective. I would like you to see, let us know what you think about the video. Leave your comments below in the comment section. Thank you very much for always being there. Bye.